Alright, here we are. We're about to start a batch of mead. And a rule that Sean and I always go by is before we start a new batch, we always like to try something that we made a month or two ago. So always keep it rolling. I always like to, loosen up, get ready for the next batch by enjoying something we made in the past.
It's a good pre-game workout. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
Not too much because you'll fuck up the recipe.
Yeah, not too, just one or two. Just to sip while you're busy. If it's your first batch, go to the store, pick out a nice 6-pack that you've been wanting to try for a while. It's a good way to just transition it right into there. So today, before we start, I'm gonna try a cider.
Yeah, it's a
hard cider that we made. This was a
prison
cheap
wine.
cider. Yeah, basically the cheapest apple juice, the cheapest sugar, but it turned out pretty nice. I'm a big wine fan, so I think it's pretty good. So that's what I'm gonna be trying out today. We made it about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago.
I'm not much of a wine fan. I mean, it is beautiful cider, and I did make it myself. But personally, my pride and joy right now is a beautiful India Black Ale we brewed about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And we just bottled it up a couple weeks ago after sitting in a secondary for some time with some dry hops. We'll explain that in a later video for you. But pretty much, it's a wonderful, beautiful beer with the hops of a nice IPA, but you also have the base malts of something nice and dark.
Perfect winter beer.
Yeah.
This is a perfect.
By the way, this is we're in the middle of a massive snowstorm here in the Midwest.
In Chicago,
the Great
Chicago
Storm of
blizzard.
2011. Yeah, the Great Blizzard of 2011.
As we're filming tonight, this is the night after the big storm. So this is highly recommend if you're ever going to plan on brewing a beer to be ready right around wintertime, brewing it in September, October. This is the one to definitely try out.
Yeah.
Turned out great. All right, let's pour up this cider. Little fizz. That was just the tiniest little fizz. See, there's some bubbles. It's not
carbon a little.
Not super fizzy, but it's got a little. It's got some bubbles.
A little life to it. Oh yeah,
color.
Look at that. They're dancing in there.
Look at that color. That's a great color. Nice deep yellow. Who'd have thought off such a cheap apple juice? And yeah, you can see the bubbles in there. You can definitely see really tiny, real tiny champagne bubbles. Real tiny champagne bubbles.
See how it smells. Oh wow, that's beautiful. It's actually getting better and better.
Yeah, maybe after it ages, it might. Cool. Let's pour that beer.
All right, here we are.
Let's see how this.
Cracking the black ale.
Boom! Now that was a fizz. That sounded great.
Hold on 1 second. Hey, take that thing away from her. All right, that's gonna have to be edited out.
Yep, that's all right.
And here we go. Don't have your dogs playing in the background when you make videos.
Oh, look at that.
Oh man.
Look at that.
That black beauty right there. Kind of like this Jamaican girl I once met when I was in South Florida. Oh wow. Check that out, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful dark, nice tan head on it. Oh wow, it smells like the heavens.
That's a nice.
That's beautiful.
Boom. Nothing's gonna warm you up quite like that after a nice, cold. After a cold commute from downtown or whatever, wherever you're coming from.
To be honest, warming you up, that cider doesn't do a bad job with a little cinnamon and cloves heated up in the microwave in a mug.
Ooh, that's not a bad. It's a great way to have it.
This is obscene. That's the ultimate.
Awesome. Well, we're gonna get brewing.
I can't wait any longer. I got to drink. I'm just gonna go over the ingredients of what we're gonna need today. It's very simple. You've got purified water, distilled, whatever you got to do. A packet of yeast here, and a quart of honey. We're gonna be making a gallon of mead with this. Very simple, people. Anybody can do this. 5-year-old could do it. What I'm gonna show you how to do is to make a yeast starter. It's gonna be. You take about a cup or so of boiled water, let it cool down. If you're gonna throw your yeast into 90-degree plus water, you're gonna kill it. That shit won't ferment. You just totally pissed into the wind. You're gonna have to go back and get new yeast. For this, since it's only a gallon batch, we are only going to be using about a half packet of yeast here. People always say to hydrate the yeast by throwing it into water. I personally like to go a step ahead. It's a little technique I learned back in Nam. Just kidding about that, no disrespect. Take a little bit of whatever you're going to be fermenting, whether it's beer, you can take some of your wort, anything that's going to be fermented, your fermentable sugars, and just stir it in. What we're going to do is dump, I'm going to eyeball it here, I don't feel like going to get my scale. Dump about a half a pack in here. I would put the whole pack if it was a bigger batch, but since we're only doing a gallon, I don't want too much yeast in case it leaves a residual yeasty flavor, because to me, yeast tastes like ball sack sometimes. Kind of smells like one too. Alright, so you can see it's hydrating, falling to the bottom. Just leave that sit there, and then once you're finally done, we'll show you what to do with that later. That's how you make a yeast starter. You can do this with wine, beer, cider. I mean, usually this will take, they say to do it, hydrate the yeast for 15 minutes before you put it in. A starter can go anywhere. I've done it when making a hard lemonade for 3 or 4 days before I actually pitch the yeast into everything else and let it sit there and start fermenting. Here we're only going to have it lit and sit for about